NOTV, Nerdly Out Loud, Nerdly UK. We are still at the Romford Film Festival. And this one isn't an interview with anybody who's got a film in, but hey guys, look who's back.
Back again.
We've got door salesman Dave.
Hello, friend.
Yeah.
You probably have to pay licensing now for that.
No, you'll be fine, If anything, you'd be paying because it's your interview, so...
Crap.
That's how it all works. But yeah, so Ross Henson, the man that is, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you today? What's the crack? What's going on?
To be honest, I'm very shattered. But who isn't these days?
Exactly.
And I'm very interested what's going to come out my mouth, because when I'm tired, I as we all do, we ramble and talk, and things fall out.
That's wow. Things do fall out people's mouths. Let's not go there, though. Let's not go there. So the last time I saw you was you were at the horror festival, but you were here last year with Door Salesman Dave.
That's right.
Which was a short movie that we all absolutely loved, and you were awesome in it.
You didn't have these mics in. These are very nice. These are fancy.
These are fancy. Like, I didn't have any of this, but
Yeah.
I thought to myself, this year I might just go professional.
I mean, it's working. Working.
I mean, they did all this. Like,
Yeah.
in fairness, they gave me the one fern. So I'm like,
The one fern.
I'm instead of beside two ferns, I'm inside one fern. Who doesn't want to be inside a fern? But yeah, so that was the last time I saw you, and that was the last time we spoke. But you've been busy. You've been busy. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me, and till next time.
So that's all you're allowed to say.
That's all I'm allowed.
That's all the sauce.
Okay, so what I've been up to? Well, so I went off and shot a feature film.
Nice.
And it's a whole story to how it ended up being a feature film, which I'll get into in a second. I'm also working on another feature film.
Nice.
Script-wise and story-wise, and we're just looking for finance and funding for that. And that is like in the genre of Bollywood. And then...
Sorry, stop.
Bollywood.
What?
Bollywood.
What?
Although they don't actually like to call it Bollywood anymore. I've learnt this through getting into Bollywood, is that they don't like to use the term Bollywood because technically places in India aren't all Bollywood. They're some are Tollywood and other places as well. So they use different words to do different things. The RRR was technically a Tollywood film, not a Bollywood film. So they're starting to drop the Bollywood. I just learnt this for education. I'm just sharing with you. Your speechlessness is great.
It's all awesome, but I'm like, Ross Henson's doing Bollywood. Like, what? Okay.
So yes, we're writing that, and we're looking to finance that and get that up and going. So that idea's there. I won't talk anything about the idea because it's not in copyright print or anything at the minute, so I can't. Then there's a film I actually originally wrote, which is a screenplay at the moment, and it's done. And that got put on the shelf because I need a higher grade of money to be able to do that one at all. And that's more on the wavelength of your Guy Ritchie meets Edgar Wright kind of style, Snatch meets sort of like Hot Fuzz kind of thing, like that kind of style. So it needs a bit more investment as far as that's concerned, and I want a bit more experience before I dive into that, because I want to make sure what I've got in my head I want to be able to do as I see it. So, which I'm closer now. So after doing this feature film and learning everything I learned on this, The Lost Drone has been incredible as far as it's been my film school, I suppose, in a way.
Nice.
Because Door Salesman Dave gave me a lot of education about how to do certain things and characters and act and direct at the same time. And the other sketches I did before Door Salesman Dave were all good film school stuff, but I never went to film school, so I've learned this all as I'm going along. With The Lost Drone, that just cemented the other side of the film school that they probably don't even teach you in film school. So there was problems and issues and mountains to climb and beautiful blessings of situations as well that made it what it was. So the experience has been like none other I've ever felt before.
Awesome. And I know you're not going to tell me a great deal about The Lost Drone, but we are going to talk a little bit about it, because tonight, in about an hour's time, you're showing the trailer up on the big screen.
That's right. Coming to a screen near you.
It's going to be awesome. I'm quite looking forward to this, actually. You just let me watch the trailer there before so that I could, figure out what the hell this interview was going to be about. But I'm really looking forward to seeing it up there, because that's going to look sick up there. That is...
Good. I'm glad you're excited. You're more excited now than you was before.
I'm always excited. You're
always excited, and you're always like, oh, what's going on, what's next kind of thing, because I think Door Salesman, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it stuck with you.
It has.
And it left a mark on you. Not in an abusive way, just for our listeners out there, but in a way that kind of, I think it has with the whole festival. Being at Romford Film Festival, I really think, and I feel privileged to walk in here and people recognise me as Door Salesman Dave, and they still want me to do the whole taglines of the whole thing and the dialogue of it and the catchphrases.
We will get to that in a minute, because you're not going without doing it, but let's just talk about your film first.
So, how did it start? That's the thing.
Yeah, you said it started as a short.
It didn't even start as short.
Right.
It started as, I need some showreel footage. Right? And I have a mate who lives in North Cyprus.
Yeah.
Okay, he came over, he's done a lot of workshops over here. In COVID, he went back home to North Cyprus, and he ended up staying there. And then we communicated, we still talk and stuff like that. And then it started to, obviously get to releasing out COVID and stuff. And we got to the point where we were like, you know what, he needs some showreel footage, and I would like some more as a character that is more closer to me as a comedian and a comedic character, rather than what I would call the over-top kind of Door Salesman Dave, what do they call them? The more cartoon, there is a word. Caricature of a character. So, because I had a lot of that, but I didn't have a lot of comedy that's just straight apart from a few monologues here and there. So I thought, let me do a scene. So he says, he finds this building, this abandoned building in the middle of nowhere in North Cyprus. And he goes there with a few of his friends and the DP we actually ended up having. And he's filming it, walking around this building. And I'm not gonna lie, it is a death trap. Like, I don't know how he went around it the first time without knowing where he's going, because once I got there and I went around it, we put in so many safety measures to the point I was like, we had to tape off certain rooms because there was cutouts in the floor that just disappeared.
Amazing.
They were like 40, 50 foot drop. There was one floor that was full of oil and water up to, like, the stairs disappeared as they went in, so we had to block off that room. We were going to use it as a scene, but get into that story in a minute. So, because there's a lot of stories with this, but I'll keep them down to the bare minimum of what needs to be said right now. So, the scene, then I said, let me write a scene. So I started writing a scene. Then it developed into, okay, I've got 10 pages. That's way more than a scene needs to be.
Yeah.
Because a scene needs to be a page and a half, 2 pages tops for a show reel, and then snip out 30 seconds of that. So then, we then said, okay, maybe it's a short. Okay, cool. I said, but let me just round it off and finish what I've got. So then another 3 days later, I now have 45 pages. So I've done this in 4 days, right? And I've never written that many pages in that short a time without a structured storyline. I was watching the video, looking where he was walking, and making up the story to where he was walking as he was going through. And then using each location as a reference of what to write the next bit and where they can go, where they can get lost. And we had this idea of this drone. So then it developed into 45 pages. Now, technically, in some festivals and most places, 40 minutes is a feature film.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. I didn't know that.
I think it's a pretty relatively new thing. It's a strange one, that.
On Netflix and other streaming platforms, there's a few films on Netflix, so I had to look on there to see if they had it on there, and same as Prime and some other places. There was a film on Netflix, and it was 40 minutes, and it was classed as a feature film. I was like, wow, okay, so we have a feature film. Cool. Let's do a feature film. Then it will become a lot more. That's when the producing side come in. So then I had to jump into a producer's chair along with my friend who was over there, who then ended up producing it as well and starring in it with us as well. The fans are finding me. I don't know if you can hear that through the system, but they're finding me.
Hopefully not.
We said we wouldn't be found up here between the fern.
Inside the fern.
After having 45 pages done, we started to get talks with a hotel, a 5-star hotel that was going to basically allow us to film in there and make that the start of our story. So then we were going to fly the drone as 2 kind of buddy characters, fly the drone out in North Cyprus for a field trip kind of style, and we find this abandoned building, we fly the drone into the abandoned building, and then we come across, so it malfunctions or crashes or lose signal or something. We're not sure as characters, so then we have to go and get it because it has sentimental value to his character.
Yeah.
Then we go and retrieve it. We get into this building and we come across this female who's tied up and being tortured. So then we have to decide whether we want to get the drone and save that or save the female we don't know.
The drone.
Obviously we got the drone.
The drone every day.
So basically they have to try and get both, and then that's where the chaos starts and unravels, and then they get chased out this thing and they get lost in the building. It is a massive building anyway.
Yeah.
After being there 3 weeks, we shot in the end. We did 1 week, we came back, I reviewed the footage, and I thought this would be really nice if we could get a little bit more time, because we did run out of time. So then we found a little bit further investment. I did the first week literally on sponsorship of my own investment. Yeah. Again, it was just meant to be a show reel, so there was no previous funding, finance, crowdfunding, nothing. I was from the moment the script first fade in was written to when we got there was a month. Yeah. Which is, when I tell people that, they're very like, a month. I'm like, yes, a month. Yeah, that's everything.
You strike me.
Flights, people, characters, actors, crew, film, equipment, all of that, and a script in a month.
you do strike me as a sort of filmmaker, and from the times I've spoken to you, it's like, right, I've got this idea, we're going to do it, let's go do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm blessed in a way where risk doesn't become apparent to me till after the fact. Right? So, and this causes a lot of anxiety after the fact, because then you realise, oh, what have I got myself into? What have I done now? I need to see this through, otherwise I'm going to be in real trouble. And that happened. I got in between the two shoots, I got majorly depressed and anxiety and everything. I've really hit a rock bottom at one point. There was a lot of things that went on at one time, and that was while trying to get back into going out there to shoot again, which didn't seem feasible at that time. Luckily, dominoes fell in the right way, through, to be honest, sheer force at some points, and stumbling across, just asking people after person after person after person, and finally coming across Samuel Gatons, I can say his name. He's the other investor and a good friend of mine, so he helped us out. He got involved, and he filled in the blank that was missing on the financial side with extra finance from me and friends and family and all sorts of stuff that then helped us get to the point of going back out. With that, we had a little bit extra sponsorship over there, but it wasn't for the full time, so that also caused a problem mid-shoot. So there was an issue with that when we went back out to do the second 2 weeks. However, they did give us time because there was this convention going on the island. We didn't know about that till we'd already booked flights. We just didn't get told. Yeah. So by the time we got told, we were like, oh, so we can't stay here?
Flights are booked and we're nearly there.
So there was a lot of moving around and stuff. But they gave us a week, which, bless them, they really did help us out, and they gave us everything we needed, including locations, times, flying a drone around the hotel. They were so good with what they did. Acapulco Hotel was the hotel, and the management, the staff, the owners, everyone was so giving to what they did, but they could only give physically the time they could, which is, it's not their fault. It was just bad timing. But that caused a lot of last minute panic, that as a filmmaker, and when you're trying to sort everyone out, you have to really stay calm in that situation. So we come back after the first week. I review the footage, and I think we need a bit more, so I go and write another 40 pages. We actually had a scene at the beginning that was meant to be done in the UK. We nearly had the likes of Stephen Fry, who was nearly going to take part. We had conversation with his agent, and everything was good. They just wanted to know it was greenlit, but really, it was greenlit, but it wasn't greenlit. I was like, yeah, we are greenlit, but we're not greenlit for the UK bit because I need to find a bit more finance. But if he can do it, I can get the finance.
Exactly.
And it was that kind of bit. And then we thought, you know what, it's not necessarily needed. It would have been nice to get a name, and Stephen Fry's, he's great at what he does, so it would have been a privilege to have him. We also had a few other names that were in the hat that we possibly have had contacts through various forms to get. That would have been great experience to have people like that on board and stuff, and to direct them people would have been just a whole different feel. Like when I hear these people directing these, like, you know, these tops, you know, their prime of their careers and stuff, or even just after that, like they've proved themselves, and then to see new directors directing that caliber
exactly.
is fascinating to me. So as a director, my director hat, that would be really interesting to do that. That would be great. As an actor, I'd love to obviously act with some of these people where you can learn so much. That's what it's about, learning.
But
so,
you're funny, and you're a funny guy, and you're a good actor and everything. But would you not just absolutely crap yourself if you were beside like a legend that you just love?
There's one person where I don't know. I'd have to check myself. But I think I'd be cool because I don't get like, what's it when you see someone starstruck? I don't get starstruck really. There's two people that I think if I'd met in reality that I'd really get starstruck. One is Michael Jackson, and that's not really looking like that's likely at the minute.
I was going to say, well, that's not happening.
Until a time machine comes in or something, that's probably not going to happen. I've met lookalikes and stuff, and that's been cool, but he's all in essence and stuff, and what he accomplished in his life is, you know, and the performance he is. I use that performance in my own dancing and performing and comedy, like it's still that energy and stuff. I'd love to put that in. And then the other one is Jim Carrey. Yeah. Jim Carrey I would just love to work with, would love to be near, would love to meet. But I don't think I'd be starstruck. I'd just be I'd have so many questions.
Yeah.
And I would just like to be around him because I know he's a very interesting character anyway, especially outside of Jim Carrey. You know, I'm starting to sound like him now. Outside of Jim Carrey, James Carrey, that he once was, would be interesting to see him as a person and what ticks and his creativity, his artistic side of him and stuff. That fascinates me. So I'd love to see that side of him.
Did you ever watch Netflix documentary he did about when he made Man on the Moon?
Yes, Man on the Moon with Andy Kaufman.
What a documentary that was.
That was...
He destroyed himself for that film.
Oh, he definitely did. He needed to take a while to come back to Jim Carrey when he did that. So when people talk about method, that is like method upon method. Yeah. Like he was literally reenacting things that Andy had done on set, off camera,
brilliant,
just to prove a point of, I'm in this zone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be just as awful as he was in this time, because there were moments where Andy really did, like, he didn't tell people, like that clip where he comes out on stage and he does the Mighty Mouse, I think it is, thing. He didn't say to anyone he was just going to stand there. No one knew. They were going to cut it. So the fact he stood there and he just, here he comes to save the day. And he just goes back to silence. He didn't tell anyone he was going to do that. So the first that's a long verse to get to the chorus. And then he busts out of nowhere, like, and they're like hovering over the off-air button. Yeah. Things like that is pure creative genius. But if someone didn't trust him in that booth to do that, they would have cut that short, and then they would have messed the whole thing up, and that wouldn't have been a thing. But what he did off stage and stuff, you know, like some celebrities just lose their way sometimes, or there's too much going on or something. Yeah, we're only humans at the end of the day, so it does happen. That was something that he did sometimes in the right way, sometimes in the wrong way. So yeah, and I think Jim sort of
embodied it.
He embodied that part, but I don't think he's actually gone off the rails as far as some people say he has.
Oh, people say he's gone absolutely nuts. He hasn't. Yeah. He's not gone off the reservation yet. Like, that's not.
I think he's a little bit more almost intelligent beyond his years, to a point where he's saying things that are a conversation, not necessarily true, because it is one's perception. But I do think he's definitely looked beyond the natural, material world as such to feel this stuff, and it takes a while to do that. So, but he's had time to do that internal stuff, like Sting. I think Sting's done similar internal things and stuff. So yeah, it's having the time to be able to do that and dive deep into the subconscious to realise what's going on.
So let's bounce back to The Last Drone.
Yes,
your film.
The Last Drone is a thriller with comedy elements, is how I'm pitching it. Because when I went to Cannes and I started saying, it's a comedy, they're like, have you got a name? And well, I've got a name. My name's Ross Henson. And I started saying to them, because they're only bothered about a name. In comedy, they want a name.
Yeah.
It has to be an A-list name, that's it. And I was like, well, my uncle was Jim Henson, who created the Muppets. Does that help?
Of course it helps. Legend.
And then when they Googled, I was like, well, I mean, not really, but, you know. So it is what it is. But so I started introducing it as a thriller with comedy elements throughout. The trailer does suggest that it is more comedy than thriller, but I'm trying to learn as I go, basically.
Yeah, exactly,
yeah.
And what was Cannes like?
Cannes was amazing. I nearly didn't go. I nearly didn't go because I was like, I've got so much to do. I haven't got time to go around and network, right? Because Cannes is networking and the parties and this and that. And it really isn't parties. You go to a party and you just talk.
Yeah.
That's it. And if you get too drunk, then you look bad and you lose jobs.
Yeah.
So you can't even party. You got a network party. So that's what Cannes is. And even through the day and all this stuff, I got into the film market bit, which is Marché du Film, I think is pronounced right, or close. People were like, no, definitely, nowhere near. So I got in there and I started talking to like the sales agents, the distributors, the companies in there, and the film people, meeting other directors, other actors that were walking around, and producers and stuff. And that experience on its own was just mind blowing.
Yeah.
To see a booth with all their posters up of everything that they're selling and buying and all this kind of stuff, and I didn't realise I was pitching to start off with. I was just talking to them about their company.
Yeah.
And they said, what have you got? I said, oh, well, actually, I've got a feature film, and this is my QR code, and check my website, and there's a trailer and a flyer and stuff. And I was like, oh, they're actually interested. And that, I was like, yeah, cool. But I did the trailer purposely, redid the trailer to the one that is on there now, before I went Cannes, just in case I got into that part. And then the same with the flyers. I've got two different flyers. One's more of a thriller style flyer, and then the other one's more of a summary kind of comedy vibe flyer. So Cannes was educational. I'm definitely going next year. I only went for 4 days, and it was the first 4. So the first one didn't count because there was only 2 things on, and it wasn't really happening. People were there, but it wasn't buzzing. By the 3rd or 4th day, there was just too many people to talk to, too many people to meet new people, and you just didn't have time. I was rushing because I knew I had to go, and at that point, then I was trying to sell the film. I was trying to pitch the film then. So then I didn't have time to network as much. I had few parties here and there, and that was great. But as far as networking with the people I wanted to network and go and meet for coffee and stuff, I didn't get the chance to do that because it's damn days. So if you do go, you need at least probably 6 days, 3 days to work out where everything is, who's where, who's doing what.
Exactly.
And in 3 days to actually use that 3 days in your benefit to get what you need from it. That'd be my complete advice for doing Cannes.
So you're showing the trailer tonight. The film's finished. Is it completely finished, or?
The film is literally, I'd say, at this very point right now, 92.5% finished. Right. It's first draft. So I'm saying first draft. As I edit, I go back and re-edit as I'm going. So I'm sort of doing like a 5th draft as I'm going anyway. But we're just on obtaining music license, and we're also on special effects and stuff, just to do certain things that we couldn't do in camera. So like a drill bit going into the actress's eye, because apparently she had a problem with a drill spinning deadly into her eye. I mean,
you got the wrong actress there.
You know, it's these things that will hold you up on set. You know,
I imagine it's divas.
But we had a few dangerous things that I was like, there's no way we're doing that. Like even with like a glass cut in a rope, I made sure everyone was out the way, and we didn't use the glass on the actual time she was there. Then when we did a close up, we even moved the camera guy away from the camera because it just takes one slip and it boing, straight in the forehead, you know, and then that's on me. So I made sure there was certain elements that we didn't do, and then there were certain things that I did because I fully trusted my body and my knowing of my body from a dance background.
Right.
I know my body very well in a way that I know when to be clumsy, and I can purposely be clumsy, and then I know when to be very cautious and safe of what I'm doing. So when I'm hanging out of a 50-foot drop doorway that leads to nowhere, if that was not my character doing that, I would not have let them two do that.
Yeah.
So I only did that because that was me, and we did safety precautions with that as well. When I say safety precautions, I mean one guy was holding my belt at one point. We had a few more, but that was definitely one point we had to do that for that type of shot. But I was well away from the door edge, and I knew my safety region. I knew my body. And again, when you're doing the film yourself, you kind of know your levels of what's comfortable and what's not.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't comfortable, or I was on edge, or something didn't feel right, I wouldn't have done it at all, and would have gone nowhere near it. On the first week, we actually said not to go in that room at all.
And is that room, was it?
It was on the second week, and this comes back to the oil flooded floor.
Yeah.
When we went back on the second week, for some reason, this was only a month and a half apart, the oil had not just disappeared, it dried bone dry to the tiles. There's no oil. We could walk down there.
Wow.
So we was meant to fall into the oil kind of look, and we were going to trick the camera with how we were going to do that to make it safe. And then we had no fall situation, so we had to find another room. And we were looking at each other, and I'm like, I was with two people that weren't there the first time, so I said to them, there is this one room up there, but last time we said we won't go up there because it is a bit dangerous. But if we safety it off and we start taping and this and blocking this and filling in holes, we literally had to fill in holes, then we'll do it.
Yeah.
So we went up, they looked at it and they went, we have to do it here. This is perfect. So we did. And luckily on the opposite side of the doorway, there was a doorway with a ledge. So we could actually get the reverse angle with the camera crew on the ledge.
Nice.
Which was, and I say it's a ledge, I'm picturing like a slim figure of ledge. You know, what's it, Man on the Edge, or whatever, what's that film where they got the ledge, he's actually literally on a ledge. It's not like that.
The Jamie Bell one.
I think so, yeah. But no, it's actually a platform where it's like fully concreted in and high sides and stuff like that. So we did it there and made it look terrifying from the other way, as well as doing the proper side that was scary. The funniest thing was there was my second AD at the bottom. He was shouting up saying, it's right, I'll stand here, so if you do fall...
Catch
you. I said, there's no way you're catching me. It's like 40 to 50 foot drop, mate. I'll just kill you as well.
Yeah.
I said, get out of the way. He said, no, because I can oomph you to the wall to break your fall. So if I hit you hard enough...
Oh, so he's not even catching you.
No, he's not catching me. He's just knock me on again. So, you know, kind of thing. So I said, yeah, no, let's just leave that. I'd rather... If I'm going to go... I just want to go. I don't want to just make it and be, you know, completely can't feel. I can only move this lip, you know.
I like that idea. I like the idea of just pushing you at the wall.
I mean, I respected the game. Like, I was like, I appreciate your love. That's one.
Yeah.
But two, can you move out of the way? But it didn't make me laugh. That was the funny situation.
So, when are we getting the movie?
So, I mean, 2037 probably. No, it should be done by literally about a month, 2 months time. Literally the things I'm dealing with are things I've never done before, which is music license, special effects and stuff, which I've never had to do at this extent. I've never done music license, and you know me, I don't do music license a little bit. I'm trying to go after a Backstreet Boys song, so it's a big song. If I don't get that, okay, cool, and you'll probably see at this point what one I've chosen, or what I could get.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because it's all very... It all depends on where you're getting it distributed, how long you use it, where in the song
bit of a minefield,
you use it. It's and I'm like, okay, and this is just an email I've had this week, so now I'm just learning about all this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as far as any filmmakers out there watching this and thinking, can I do this? And is it okay to wear this many hats? No, it's not okay to wear this many hats. It's pure insanity. But if you have to, and you trust yourself, and you learn as you go, and you really take note, then yeah, do it, because you can look back, and I've had so many nice comments off the trailer already, and just the flyer, of the poster. It's amazing, people's comments and stuff, and they love it. And the people that I've shown certain scenes to inside the crew, they're like, this is gonna, like, my DP, he said to me, he said, wow, you can edit. That's what he said.
Well, that was one of the things we all said about Door Salesman Dave as well. Like your editing style, it's very like Guy Ritchie when he's cutting the Snatch. when they're going from like America to the UK, and he does like that stuff. Like you're awesome.
I love that. I love that. That's the Guy Ritchie, Edgar Wright, even Matthew Vaughn does that as well because they came from the same background. But The Lost Drone hasn't got as much as that as I wanted, but I have put in. There's elements in there that you can see. Oh, if this is his first feature, you can see where he's going, and that's what I want people to see. If they can see it, they know where my trajectory is going to be. If I could say that word, it's going to be trajectory.
Easy for you to say.
Yes, this is where I say I've got dyslexia or something, but I haven't been proven yet, so I don't know. I can't use it yet. But yeah, so that's where my trajectory is going to be. Well, that was it.
That was spot on.
Edit that back in.
Absolutely spot on. I'll move that to that bit. Then we'll
just clean this whole bit out.
Gravy.
So yeah, that's where I want to go. That's the style I love. That's what I want to entertain people with, whether it be a straight up comedy, whether it be more of a thriller, whether it be a horror, whatever it be, sci-fi action. Oh, action! I can't wait to do some action actually. With that style involved would be great to carry on doing them type of films.
You should do like a Jackie Chan kind of action.
What's the one? Jackie Chan's where he does is it the Drunken?
Yeah, Drunken Master.
Drunken Master. Yeah, that I watched that the other day for some inspiration as well. And
Rumble in the Bronx. Go back to that.
You just have to go back and watch these things because they're so educational. I never was a film buff. I used to love film, but I never was a film buff. When I started going back and watching these actors that I like, the directors that I like, and these films that I wouldn't have necessarily watched before, it opens up a whole different mindset. And then you clump all that together to get your own thing, and then you have your individual style, which is a blessing then. So, yeah, but you have to educate yourself, and they don't do this enough. I mean, I can't really say this because I haven't been to film school, but I'm guessing they don't do this enough in film schools. One, how to sort out a budget and stuff and how to get finance, because I mean we don't even get taught as self-employment in school how to do that. You have to work that out on your own. But also with research and all this kind of stuff. I know they're touching it a little bit because I used to do it in dance where we used to go back and watch Fosse and do a whole semester on Fosse. I sound like American now. A whole semester on Fosse. But with these old film guys that I say old, the classic stuff, the breaking the mold, the people that made colour films from black and white to colour, like speaking dialogue, see the transition, see who did it first, and then find out how they did it.
It's good though. You're always learning. You always should be learning, because once you've learned everything, you've really learned nothing. So you've always got to be.
I feel like as me as a filmmaker, and I've started calling myself a filmmaker, not just a director, because I love to write, I love to do directing, I love to act, I love to get involved with the edit, or just do the edit myself. So at this stage, I'd love to pass that off onto people once I've got my style locked in, and then I can say, look, this is how it needs to be. You can now copy and do that, and I'll just overlook it. That'd be great. Then I can spend more time on doing more stuff. With a filmmaker's perspective on doing things, you really have to take your mindset and put that into what you're doing in your guts of how you want to do it. Because if you try to copy someone straight, it won't work. But you can use elements. That's why I always say, like, I never say just Edgar Wright on his own. I never say Guy Ritchie on his own. I always use all three, like Edgar Wright, Guy Ritchie, Matthew Vaughn. Them three really stick out for me as far as the style of film I like. And then I go and use other things from like the Jackie Chan era and all that kind of stuff where you'd mix it all in. So that would be my advice. Find multiple people that you like and blend it together to make what you want to make. That's how Smoothies started.
Smoothies.
Yeah. They got the fruit they liked.
Smoothies.
They mixed them together.
I like that.
And then they had a smoothie.
Smoothies and movies.
Yeah.
Let's coin that phrase. So what can I expect when I watch this trailer tonight? What can I expect different wise from Salesman Dave?
Real characters, but in a way where I think this is the most you'll see me as an actor. This character is very close to me.
Yes.
Like, he drops song lyrics every now and then. He'll be slightly a little bit panicky at times. Other times he'll be really cool. He'll be over the top. And then there's other times where he'll be under the top. I don't know if that's actually a phrase, but I'm going to use it. So coining that one as well. Under the top.
Low key.
Low key, that's the one, yeah. So, yeah, I think they will take away, and the difference between Salesman Dave and The Lost Drone is purely realness. So Door Salesman Dave was very out there.
Yeah.
It's a real situation that's developed into such a caricature of that situation that it's become a laughing stock in itself. But that's how it's intended. Whereas the Lost Drone, I feel like you can really relate to the characters on a point where you know someone like that.
Yeah.
Both lead characters in it, even the female as well, and even the torturer, to be honest. So you probably know people like that.
Awesome. The
Scary
torturer,
enough.
thank you.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this out in a second because we need to go and watch your trailer, and I can't wait to see it up there on the screen. But first of all, you've been doing pitch meetings at Cannes. You've been trying to sell your movie, and I know a certain character who knows how to sell things. Do the pitch in Door Salesman Dave for me.
The pitch in Door Salesman Dave.
No, do the pitch as Door Salesman Dave for the new movie.
For Lost Drone. Okay, that's new. Haven't done that one before. This is interesting. Oh wow. Okay. I mean, considering in Cannes, I didn't really know I was pitching till day 4, and then I started to get the pitch down a little bit better. But okay, so I'll do the. Okay, sorry, let me get Door Salesman Dave first.
I don't like putting my guests on the spot, but it is fun.
Oh, that's good. Okay, right. Woo! Let me just go back to Door Salesman Dave. I've been doing this other character for so long. Door Salesman Dave. So, hi, I'm Door Salesman Dave. Have you seen the Lost Drone? Well, let me show you something. In the Lost Drone, you have William and Ezra, buddies, buddy, and they all go on a holiday, 5-star hotel, Acapulco Hotel. Have you seen it? It's wonderful. And then they get a drone. Have you got a drone? Do you want a drone? It flies. And then they take the drone and they fly off into an abandoned building. Yes, an abandoned building. In the abandoned building, they come across a female tied up. And a torturer approaches from behind. Out of nowhere, they find the drone, they find the girl, and they have to get out and save their lives. So, can I offer you a screening with the Lost Drone, featuring William and Ezra, played by Ross Henson and Janelle Coleman? Maybe? Can I? Seems to be an ongoing theme, that, actually. I always do this with the mic for you.
I like that. Look.
Did it in the other bit in the Romford bit as well.
That was awesome. Ross?
There's definitely a lot of Jim Carrey flipped in there as well. Let me show you something. It's from Jim Carrey in Living Colour. That's not even Door Salesman Dave. That just come out of nowhere. Door Salesman Dave doesn't talk that much. That's why that's hard. He does little bits here and that's it.
Get yourself back to Cannes and do the pitch like that.
Oh my God.
I think I've just sold you a movie for you.
I think that's going to work. Yeah.
Right, Ross, honestly, thank you so much for jumping on and doing this. Thank you for being here, and we're going to go and watch your trailer.
Yeah. And also, your trailer's coming on as well.
Oh, we don't talk about that, though.
Oh, well, we have to a little bit.
Thank you so much, buddy.
No, thank you for having me, and everyone watching and listening. Romford Film Festival have been so supportive, and so has Kevin as well. And Spencer, who's just about to join me for the very last 5 seconds.
Have you been sat there the whole time?
Hello. No.
That's okay.
I just thought I'd come and join the fun now.
You missed the Door Salesman Dave pitch for his new movie.
Yeah, we went full in. Surprised myself.
You went full in.
Full in.
We went balls deep.
Full in. There we go.
I like what you've done.
I was just complimenting the festival as well.
I know I heard. That's why I came in.
No, they have. In all seriousness, Romford Film Festival have been really supportive. They've been kind. They've been open, and I love. When you get here, you actually talk to everyone involved and stuff, and you do hear that they are all watching. Some festivals they say, "Oh yeah, we watch everything," but they really sometimes maybe don't, especially the ones that are really just new and started and stuff. They cut corners. You guys really do know your stuff. Mm-hmm. Like when I say to you, "Oh, have you seen the so and so?" and I'll drop like one thing from something, and you go, "Oh yeah, that's so and so with so and so doing the directing, and this is them," and you know your stuff. So it's so encouraging to have that. So you guys really are putting the work in.
I, on the other hand, don't watch everything.
There you go.
Oh, well, you just ruined that moment.
I thought it would be.
You guys as a collective, that's probably what I should
I
say.
think the thing being is because I don't count
Well,
as a human being.
You don't, but you don't have to, because you've got like me, Peter, Bradley, Carrie.
so that's what I'm saying.
We watch them all.
The collective of the team have seen near enough all of them.
But there is no team in me.
There was a clever response to this, but I can't think of it now, so I'm too tired.
I cannot fit the whole team in me.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but we all.
And that's all right.
I am going to wrap it out there because I just don't know what to say anymore.
End this. I'm glad I crashed this. This is great.
You should have just came up earlier.
Yeah, maybe I should have. I forgot what you were doing. I forgot everything was.
It's nice that your team will carry you through.
And we're only an hour behind.
And only. Yeah.
Only an
It's
hour.
not
That's
bad.
impressive, to be honest.
I've got the luck of a leprechaun. And you have the high top one as well.
When you win a holiday at a 5-star hotel
5 stars.
and your best mate owns a drone, I mean, what would you do?
This is no time for swiping through Tinder.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, as I was saying,
I'm swiping for love.
William. Yep, that's me. Carefree and don't take life too seriously.
Go down and have a look.
No way, bro.
And my mate, Ezra. He wouldn't dream of bending the rule book, let alone breaking it.
Oh, come on, we come this far. You might as well have a look.
But easily swayed.
Fine. I can't believe you forced me to fly there.
Do we have to go and get this drug? Can you just buy another one?
My grandma got this one before she passed away. She taught me so much.
What's that?
It was this throne that brought us closer together. Some people have a necklace or a ring.
I have this
Drum. We are here to help.
I don't know. When we don't ask him for ID.
William, not in case you need to find me on Facebook, you know. You might want to add me.
For some reason, our journeys never go as planned.
Guys, get me out of here.
I didn't catch your name.
Miola. Well, people close to me call me Neo.
I think she's the one.
This is not the Matrix, bro.
Something don't feel right. It's not the gas this time. I've been popping the Imodium pills like they're vitamins in the morning.
Time and place, bro.
Yeah, read the room.
Well, joke's on you two, because we're not even in a room.